Well, it's the first order of business every day. What to eat for breakfast and how to make it healthy. We all know oatmeal is a really good option. So Allie Miller is a dietitian with A Lifelong Way. She's here. And when you think oatmeal, obviously you think oats and water. And I immediately think of Wilford Brimley as well. But you are going to put a different twist on some of these oatmeal ideas.
Yes, I am. And when we talk about oatmeal now, there's such a variety of what that even means. You know, there's your quick cook instant oatmeal packets, which typically are laden with sweeteners or artificial sweeteners and other stabilizers.
Those are the ones that I usually eat.
They're quick.
Yeah, they taste really good too.
Right, and then there's the rolled oats, which are a little bit quicker to prepare, a little slower cooking time. And the traditional oatmeal is actually the steel cut oats, which we're using in our recipe today.
Okay.
It's also called Irish oatmeal. And so the steel cut oats look almost more like a kernel, like similar to, I guess, more so like brown rice versus those flat oats that we're used to.
And it'll say right on the package,
steel cut oats.
Okay,
yes.
steel cut.
So when we're talking about oatmeal and its benefits of helping to lower cholesterol levels, it's a nutrient called beta-glucan that is the effective compound. And the beta-glucan is more intact with the steel cut oats than when they're pressed and rolled.
That is very interesting.
Yes.
Now, how would anybody have learned about that if you weren't watching to see Allie? So you want to make sure you get the steel cut. So how do you come up with the recipe? What kind of recipe would you put together instead of just mixing it with hot water and
Sure.
and
Well, one of the reasons why people typically choose the quick cut oats is the time, truly. In the morning, we're typically rushed, and the steel cut oats can take about over an hour to cook. So there's two different methods.
An hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can either cook them the evening and do a big pot and kind of just serve yourself a cup in the morning. That would be an option. Or you can actually soak them overnight without adding heat at all and just putting the milk in there and letting them just soak with the moisture. But I'm making a casserole today that you can pop in the oven on maybe a Sunday and then cut yourself a slice every morning.
Delicious. And we want to try to get you some whole grain because we all know how important that is.
Yes, absolutely. The Whole Grain Council, well, actually, the American guidelines are to try to make at least half of your grain intake as whole grains. But I challenge my patients to make at least 75% or more.
Okay,
I always
good.
try to go a little bit above and beyond.
Good deal.
So I'm going to start with some coconut oil, and I'm just going to put it on a cloth here and just rub my pan.
Instead of butter, right?
Instead of butter, right. So this is a saturated fat, but it's a medium chain saturated fat, and it actually can help to boost our metabolism. So I'm going to coat my pan nicely there.
We're going to have to do a whole segment on that saturated fat thing one day, too,
Okay.
because they're not all the same. You know, some of them are good
Absolutely
for you.
not.
It's very confusing.
It could be a segment on this, it's true.
Really?
So I have my coconut oil in my pan, and then I'm just going to whisk together. I'm going to make a half a recipe for us here.
Okay.
So I'm going to do 2.5 cups of our almond milk. And this is an unsweetened original almond milk. So this is going to be lower calorie than your dairy milk, and you'll see that it's going to look for the unsweetened aspects. So no
Okay.
added sugars in here. Okay.
I've tried the sweetened stuff, and it's pretty good.
Sure, yeah. This will be all right because we're going to get some of the nice flavor from our fresh pumpkin that we have canned here. So this is going to add some fiber, some beta-carotenoids, and some antioxidants.
All right.
So we have about a half cup of pumpkin. We're going to put in some vanilla. And then some pumpkin pie spice, which is kind of a mixture of cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger. So
Love
I'm gonna
it.
mix that in there.
I'm with you so far.
All right. The nice thing about the spices here also is they help with, the ginger is anti-inflammatory. And the cinnamon, there's a lot of research on it helping with insulin function for blood sugar control.
Amazing.
So beneficial
Okay.
to add to any grain that you're having. So we're just going to mix these together so that it's all kind of equally blended. And then I'm going to pour this into my pan.
And this recipe will be on HoustonTexasFood.com as well, so you can give it a try yourself.
So there's my mixture of liquids. Then I'm just going to toss in my steel cut oats.
And those haven't been soaked or anything.
Not
They're just
yet.
dry.
Nope.
Okay, got it.
I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of honey. This is going to act as my sweetener.
Delicious.
And this is a raw, unfiltered Texas honey, so it will help with the seasonal allergies that we may be suffering from. Because when we eat that pollen from the flowers, it helps our body in its immune response. And then I have 2 other whole grains in here. I have chia seeds. All grains are technically seeds. It's seed of the grass. So chia seeds, if you remember, chia pets.
Chia pet, yeah,
yes.
of course.
If you have any of those left over, you can also purchase them. They're now looked at as a superfood, very high in omega-3.
Who knew?
Yes, the benefits
All
of
those
chia.
years.
So I'm pouring in my quarter cup of chia seeds, and then I also have some ground flax seeds and some pecans to boot. So we're going to just mix it all together and then pop it in the oven at 400.
All right. I am going to quickly.
That is your finished product.
This is my finished product, and I'm going to. I taste this because I'm certifying for you that it tastes good before you try it yourself.
Yes.
Very yummy.
Awesome.
Very good. Tastes like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it still has the nutty chewiness,
All right.
but really nice texture.
HoustonTexasFood.com and get the recipe. Christy has a quick look at. Oh, we're going to be coming back with a look at weather right after this. Yummy.